How's it going?
Sarah back at you. I'd like to share that we can still make videos even though we're both killers to each other.
We are. We're having a moment today. We're usually pretty good.
We're snippy at each other.
We are, which we're not usually.
But we still love each other.
We do.
After this, not, but now.
Say. We used to have this thing a long time ago where every Thursday we'd get in a fight. We'd call it a Thursday. We haven't had
because
one.
we both had Thursdays off.
Yeah.
Together at one time in our lives, and just Thursdays weren't good. We have not had a Thursday in a long time. Today's a Thursday.
Yeah.
We just want to share that we're human.
Yeah. If you have a fight with your partner, it's normal. It's just of how you deal with it, you know. And if you're wrong, apologize. Don't be one of those people who, even if you know you're wrong, you're not going to apologize because it gets you nowhere, right?
Yeah.
If you're wrong, apologize.
And I would rather not have to put on makeup another day. She's like, I'm done filming.
Yeah,
I want to film.
We're done.
And I'm like, no, please. I don't care how mad we are at each other. I'm not doing this again.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple things in this video. Okay. Mostly, it's going to be a Krashlyn heavy video. Okay. But so the very first thing, I don't even think you saw this. The very first thing we're going to talk about.
Am I recording?
The first thing we're going to talk about is I saw this on Twitter or I saw it on Instagram that I'll put the graphic on the side, but it says NWSL is close to finalizing tournament this summer in Salt Lake City. So from what I could read, they're going to do a tournament. There might be a tournament if all the owners agree that's going to be like all 9 teams are going to do tournament style in Salt Lake City at the Royal Stadium. And
that would be awesome to live there.
They're saying either it's going to be no spectators,
that's true,
or very, very few spectators.
Oh, okay. No spectators makes sense.
Yeah, like in the KBO, the Korean Baseball League, they have no spectators. The German Soccer League, they have no spectators. They're just doing it right now. There's just no spectators. So it's going to be all 9 tables. It's going to be like tournament style in, I think it was saying for July, I think.
That sounds epic.
So what do you think? Do you like that idea? They said it's going to be really precautionary. They're going to take everyone's temperature. They're going to be quarantining them when you get there for 2 weeks. So they're going to take measures, a very high measure. So all 9 teams, and I don't know if it means anything. I think the person who wins the tournament might just be like a pride thing.
They win it all.
They win it all.
They win the NWSL championship.
I don't know if that's
summer championships.
Okay, and then, so I think this is a little bit controversial, but Ashlyn Harris
Instagrammed it.
Okay.
Instagram story. Okay. A dance class led to 112 coronavirus cases in South Korea, report Business Insider.
And then that was the report. And so then Ashlyn said this. Yet a tournament is safe for us, and we should.
Okay, so she's saying
that this happened in a dance class. Like they wanted to play in a tournament. She's basically saying,
well, first of all, those people aren't 6 feet apart.
And I bet they didn't probably take the precautions that the NWSL will.
No, but I think at the end of the summer, if things are slowing down and if it's getting more back to normal, yeah, they should. But if it's still happening, I don't think they should. I think they should cancel it.
Yeah,
you know.
I think also the German players seem to be playing. The Korean baseball players seem to be playing. I mean, it might be different I know it's different in Korea right now, but in Germany, it's just weird.
As time goes on, what's going to happen?
I know.
Are people going to start getting sick, or are they fine? I have no idea.
This is just so unprecedented.
Is anyone having quarantine? No. I should say coronavirus dreams. Literally every night I have at least one.
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I always forget my mask. I'm in public. I'm around people. And I'm like, wait, aren't I supposed to be wearing a mask? Or something? I don't have masks, gloves, anything. Like no protection. And I'm like...
Chill, but not chill.
I'm like, yeah, chill, but kind of freaking out. Like, okay, like what? And then I start covering my face, or I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's. Have you guys having those dreams? I haven't, but I have a little bit.
I have one every night.
So we'll see. We'll see if that tournament happens. Are you for or against it? And do you see what Ashlyn's saying? We see both sides. I mean, it's such a hard situation for everyone involved. There's a thing going on in baseball. The baseball players are saying they don't want to play. They are scared. They are thinking, even with no spectators, they said it's not worth it. But I think they still want to get paid, the baseball players. The union, they have a really strong union in baseball.
Yeah,
so
you can't get paid if you get sick and die. So
that's right. It's just hard. We're living in a time that we never thought we would be living in, and we're living in it. And so we have to figure this out. And I didn't really give you my answer. Do I think it's a good idea? I think precautions could be taken for it to be safe. But they're not paid enough. Like, I keep saying, if
they're not paid enough to risk it.
They're not paid enough to risk it unless they're giving them.
True.
You know, it's not like the soccer players in Europe are paid a lot. Yeah, the soccer players in Europe are paid a lot. The Korean baseball players are paid a lot. NWSL players overall are not paid that much. Is it worth it? And a lot of these women have children too. Some of them have children. So is it worth it? And what's the outcome? Just for pride? You just say we won the tournament during the coronavirus. You know, it's hard.
No, that's not a good idea. Like I think they should do it maybe more toward the fall.
Yeah.
Like, aim for that. Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know, because summer's coming and...
Too quick.
It's just too quick.
And spectators aren't going to be there. But I will say, if you know for a fact that everyone is tested and I don't know. I don't know. So we don't know. Just let us know what you guys think. What we're going to watch, what we're actually today, it's going to be... If you are a Krashlyn fan, Allie and Ashlyn fan, the interview that they did with Ashlyn Harris and Allie Krieger, Laughter Permitted with Julie Foudy, you must listen to this interview. It just gives a lot of insight we haven't heard before from them. I will say, Sarah has not listened to the interview in full yet. We're going to react to some of the clips. And we're not going to react to a lot of the clips because I think you guys should go listen to it. But I think we're going to take two very important clips that we found because if you are a Krashlyn fan, this is a must listen to interview. I believe they did it. They talked about New Jersey, so I think they did it right before She Believes.
Oh yeah,
I think they did. I think that's when they did the interview.
Okay.
So it was a while ago, 2 months ago. But we're gonna talk. The first thing we're gonna listen to is Julie asks an important question. She said, "You guys were together a long time. Why? What made you decide to come out last year? And why, in so many more words, or so many little words, why did it take you so long?" I mean, that was this is pretty much what we're going to react to. It might be a long clip, but we're listening and then Sarah and I are going to react. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Briefly, but you said you kept your relationship under wraps for a long time in fear of your, what would happen with your career, what happened professionally. When did you decide this needed to change?
Well, I was no longer on the national team, so I felt like more confident at that time to be able to be like, it is what it is, and not that I was settling not being here back in this environment, but just that it was time to kind of like live our truth. And I really feel like we weren't hiding intentionally from everyone because all of our friends and family knew. I think that for us to give everything to our club, our country, our families and friends, that, we had to, shout it from the rooftop somehow and really make ourselves feel accepted, not only with each other, but with the world, and not pretend like it's not normal to be in a relationship with the same sex. And I feel like we were treating it as that it's, not accepted or okay. And, we don't really care what other people think. I think it was more so like about us being truthful with each other and ourselves at that time.
Wow.
And I know that we were nervous about our sponsorships and, our administrators in the club and club officials and also with the national team, more importantly. But after we had announced it, our, U.S. soccer president, our U.S. soccer coach, I mean, I wasn't even on the team again or back on the team yet. And everybody was reaching out. All of our sponsors were sending us flowers. And like, it was just like we got so much positive feedback that we were like, wow, like why
did we wait this long?
Yeah, this long. But also it's a sense of like privacy too. Like I'm a private person as it is. I don't really want, I never really wanted my relationship to be out there because I know of all like, social media. There's not, everyone's has always something to say. And I think that that's something that is sacred being a public figure. You kind of want to keep your private life private because that's kind of what you have for yourself at the end of the day. So it wasn't necessarily that we were hiding. It was just more so like, okay, well, once we announce this, I mean, get ready for like the fandom, all the supporters, everyone like knowing our business. And are you okay with that? Yeah. And is that going to be something that we want to do? And we really had to sit down and talk about it. But we always say to each other, if we're saving someone's life, then anything is worth it. That sacrifice.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. There might be a little more of the clip, but okay, let's talk about that. She said a lot there. The first thing she said was, you know, she wasn't on the team, so I think in a lot of ways she felt safer to just talk about there won't be the repercussions that she thought there could have been.
Yeah.
First thing she said, she was worried about, not the first thing, worried about, you know, the powers that be of USA Soccer. You know what I mean? What are they going to think? Are they going to be against it? Are they going to be for it? You know, sponsors. Are they going to not sponsor us?
Yeah, I mean, those are pretty big things, but the outcome was good.
I don't think she was expecting that outcome, which is kind of understandable based on historically how it hasn't always been like that.
Yeah, right.
But kind of in regard to waiting so long.
But also, I feel like they're super private people.
Yeah. But it goes back to, like, in the clip, I kind of made the clip, she goes, Allie said she wanted to be private. She didn't want it to be, she wants a public, private. I do believe, obviously, if she was with a man for 9 years, it wouldn't be private for 9 years, because being with a man, there'd be no real distraction. There wouldn't be extra media focus. Yeah. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know? Because they talk a lot about in this interview, which Sarah hasn't listened to the whole thing, but she will. Kind of just like they wanted to be role models. They wanted to help people. And some may say, well, it took you 9 years to help people, to be role models, because they weren't saying it. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know? So
yeah, but you can't force like a coming out. You can't come out before you're ready.
And there's always naysayers. That's the thing, you know?
Because I came out to one person in particular in my life before I was ready to and I was like having like a nervous breakdown about it. I'm like, oh my God, why did I do that? I shouldn't have told them, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But I mean, it was fine in the end. But
you don't think about it.
It felt really just, it felt, it wasn't right. It like wasn't the right time.
And I think
I said it anyway.
That's like, I bet Krashlyn even felt when they came out, they were still in that headspace where, is this going to be the right thing, you know? Yeah. Because you could even say, maybe that's one of the reasons, because in the interview it also talks about Allie was off the national team, kicked off, or whatever you want to say. She was off. Could there be anything to do with Jill Ellis not wanting a couple on the team? Because she said in the interview, Allie Krieger, she wasn't given reasons why. She saw other people being brought up that she knew she was playing better than, that were not, you know, and could it be because they didn't want a couple on the team because, you know, the team and the coaches probably knew, but maybe they don't want a couple on the team. I don't know. You know, they wouldn't go, the fact that Allie was brought back a month later after they came out kind of doesn't support that theory, because you're thinking, well, if they didn't want her on the team, they really wouldn't bring her back, you know, for the team for the World Cup. But maybe they thought, well, now they can't hold her back based on the new, almost look homophobic or couple-phobic.
Couple-phobic.
And I think the direction we're going in is, you know, and a lot of couples don't have the pressure of being on the same national team. There are some couples who are on the national team together.
Yes.
So I think that's so interesting, and why they don't want to come out as a couple. And Allie overall is private. I think the next part of the clip is going to talk about Ashlyn was ready to come out. Okay. And then Allie, she supported Allie no matter what, obviously. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Both of us, like, I was very comfortable from the beginning. Like, I knew that, like, I adored her, loved her. It was always Allie. But I think it took you time, and I was willing to put my crap aside and make sure she was fully comfortable and confident making that step and, you know, being out. And I've always been very public with my fans and my family and everyone. What you see is what you get. It's very, but I wanted to protect her. I think it's important to do it together and not force someone into something that they're not ready to do. And as soon as she was ready for it, I thought, like, wow, this is awesome. Like, we can finally speak our truth, like, together. And it took some time, clearly 9 years, but it was, like, completely worth it. And Allie's right, because there's a lot of people out there who think they can't live their truth and they're trapped. And it affects their well-being, it affects their life. And a lot of people, you know, hurt themselves or commit suicide because of it, because they don't feel like they belong or they don't feel like they have a place. And we wanted to give back in a way. We didn't want a marriage or a wedding. Clearly we wanted a marriage, but we didn't want a wedding. But we shaped our entire purpose around being thankful for the people that came before us, who lives were at risk. People were killed in our society, and it was very, very, very important for us to have the Supreme Court ruling in our vows. It was very important.
Sydney read those, right?
And it was just an appreciation thing for the people who've come before us, who have fought so hard for us to have the right to stand up there and live our truth and preach love and acceptance and understanding. So I think for us, that whole wedding was not clearly just about us, but moving forward of, just like you always say, and Kyle says, like,
movement.
We have happy endings too.
Right.
You know, and everything we did surrounded that. Like, this can be beautiful, this can be accepted, this can be rewarded, this can be normal.
Yeah.
But we have to put it out there.
Well, it's interesting, the video itself of the
So that was the segment. That was so powerful, because what Ashlyn says is totally correct. Respecting the people who made everything, who made the Krashlyn wedding happen. The people who in years past could never be open or could never be married. I mean, the fact that it's happened in the last 10 years that same-sex couples can actually get married is just 10 years. Married. It's just, we just can never forget what happened before. And I always talk about this on this channel, that Sarah's done it.
She's
crying. I always cry. That we just can't forget about it, because what's happened in years previously, it's just, especially younger people.
Stop it. Oh my gosh, Sarah.
Yeah, especially younger people, like now, even just, we have to keep reminding people, and we kind of have to keep what has made now possible.
Yes.
You know? And a lot of older people watch our channel too. I mean, I'm older. I mean, a lot of people.
They're the trailblazers.
Exactly. And I always say that in my comments. If someone says they've been with their partner for a long time, I go, thank you. Thank you for what you have done. Ashlyn also said she supported Allie. You know, she knew Ashlyn was ready. Allie was not. She said, Allie, you take your time.
Yeah.
You take your time. I support you. Don't rush something. I'm not going anywhere.
I feel like people break. Like, that's the reason they break up. It can be that one person's ready to come out or whatever, and the other person is not.
And some
not comfortable.
With. So. Some relationships won't work though with one person saying, "I can't be with someone who is deciding not to tell their friends, family." There is some people who just said, who for them that's kind of a deal breaker, and everyone has to make those decisions for themselves.
Right.
But I think if you think the person is truly your soulmate, maybe, you know, just say, it's a little bit harder, but we're going to make it work. That's the only clips we're going to do for this one.
Okay.
But please go watch the interview. I'll link it down below. If you are an Allie and Ashlyn fan, there's like other really good parts of the interview. Allie actually talks about how she didn't realize she was lesbian really until college, because she didn't even know it was possible before, which I think is a very common thing. Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we were younger, like, I didn't even realize two women could be together. My brother, like, came out to me when he was in 12th, senior year of high school. And I was like, oh my God, I love you no matter what. You're amazing. Who cares? This is great. You know, and that was luckily my response to him telling me. I said, I will support you no matter what, and I love you no matter what. But I didn't realize until, like, college, really, that two women could be together. And I was just like, my eyes opened up to this whole new world. Because when I was younger, I guess I was, just not exposed to it. It was never really...
No, you're brainwashed to be a certain way.
Yeah, and I was just ignorant to the fact that, you know, same-sex couples existed.
And you don't see it in Vogue magazine back then.
No, and now I'm like...
Or in movies.
Thank goodness.
Or on television.
Like, we had that experience to show... you know, the younger generation, and we had a lot of older supporters too, who now are at 40 years old coming out to their families, you know, after seeing the wedding video and just feeling so comfortable and confident in themselves, that I was so happy that, you know, why we did it really blossomed and helped.
That's awesome.
I know.
I love that.
I love it. And what Allie says, especially back 10, 15 years ago, is so true. A lot of times you don't even think it's a possibility. Like Ali said, sometimes you just don't even think it's a thing. Like, if you're not exposed to it and you're only seeing same-sex, opposite-sex couples near you, you couldn't imagine it being different because you don't see it. You wouldn't even think it's a possibility, right?
Yeah. Like, I knew from a very young age.
Yeah.
I swear I was like 5 or
Yeah.
maybe like 10.
Women gave you the tingles.
One way to put it. No, yeah, from a very young age, I just always knew. But I put it in the back of my brain, didn't think about it. Like they say, ignorance is bliss. Like, don't even...
Wanted to repress it in a lot of ways, too. Because you couldn't be different. Someone couldn't think you're different. Because even if you saw it, it's like, don't want to be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even though everybody saw through it and they knew.
They know. You know.
They knew.
And
well, I was crazy. I kissed, like, all of my friends. Well, they wanted to kiss me, too, okay?
Oh, my God.
But it was just, like, jokes. I was just that crazy person who was, like, so open... Not about her sexuality, but just like open to like, you know, just crazy.
Yeah. Well, and like how Ali said, her brother came out to her when she was when he was in high school, and of course she said, "Well, you know, I love you no matter what." And then for her journey to be, it just everyone's journey is different, but for her journey to say, "Oh, I see him with men." I could be with women too, you know what I mean? I will say, I think GLEE, the show GLEE, really was one of the first shows where it made having a same-sex relationship, especially for young lesbians, that it was normal. You know, Brittany and Santana were, I love you, you love me, and it wasn't even that scandalous in the high school, I feel like, when I would watch it, but I remember that show being like, you have a girl, they're in a relationship. Okay, it's okay. It's accepted. Yeah. It's not, and I even remember I was older than in high school when that show came out. I don't even know, I was in my late 20s, but that's one of the shows where I said, this show is for LGBT. I mean, to show it being normalized.
I mean, Ryan Murphy did create it.
I know, he's very LGBT, but for it to be so normalized, that show GLEE, like, and the fact that young people had that show to watch, To what?
To what?
Oh, the phone rang.
And the phone rang.
Okay. I was just kind of saying, when I was a kid, the show that a lot of people would watch about LGBT, they had a show called The Real World, which now it's kind of scandalous. Back then, it was like very much more social issues about, but it was scandalous. It was salacious to think of, you were a gay person. They made it like, but that's how we had to grow into what we have today. You needed that to have what we today. Okay. Final thoughts.
Well, even when I went to a Catholic school growing up.
Whole life. Kindergarten, preschool till 12th grade.
Yeah. But even when I was in high school, I remember there was like a couple people that came out. One girl came out as bi. One guy came out as gay. And like, actually there was like a few gays. And I was just like, at that point I don't know, I was just suppressing mine so much I wasn't even like, but I was like, okay, cool, good for them. I don't know where that story was going.
You could relate to Ali. You completely relate to Ali, saying her brother came over and it didn't make her think, okay, I'm gay too. It just made her know that that was a possibility, that people were being their true selves.
Even in a Catholic school. And
yeah. But everyone's journey is so unique, and the fact that, like they said, normalizing it. It's not weird. It's not perimeter. It's not the outside of society. I think the idea of saying they might be in the same-sex relationship, the fact that someone's not offended by that, because back in the day you said, are you in a same-sex relationship with another girl or the boy? People get so offended, which whatever it was, but now for someone like, no, I'm not, and that being offended is not something that is going to be in the past. I'm not going to be offended if someone says, if Sally and Jody are in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Or if Joe and Peter are in a relationship, you know, it's kind of like, why is that offensive? Like, but just because of the genders are same genders, that's where I think we're going in that direction. Questions, comments down below. What did you guys think? Please listen to the interview. Sarah's actually going to listen to the whole interview tonight after we're done filming. Questions, comments down below. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.